Daniel Crawford pushed open the door of the Riverside Café, his daughter Sophie's hand warm in his at 34 years old. He had learned that life rarely went according to plan. He was a construction foreman, working long hours to provide for Sophie, who had just turned 6. The café was their weekly tradition, a small luxury he allowed himself every Saturday morning. 2 hot chocolates and a shared muffin. "Can I get the chocolate chip muffin today, Daddy?" Sophie asked in her pink dress. "Of course, sweetheart," Daniel replied, guiding her toward their usual table by the rain-streaked windows. He was halfway across the cafe when he saw her. Catherine Monroe stood near the counter, speaking with the cafe manager. She wore a crisp white blouse and dark jeans, her blonde hair falling in perfect waves, even from across the room. Daniel could see she carried herself with a confidence that hadn't been there 15 years ago. His heart stuttered. They had been 18 when they fell in love. High school sweethearts who believed forever was a promise they could keep. Catherine had dreams of business school, of building something meaningful. Then her acceptance letter arrived from a prestigious university 3 states away. Daniel had encouraged her to go, even though it broke his heart. They tried long distance for 6 months, but Catherine was building a new life, discovering a world beyond their small town. The breakup had been quiet, sad, inevitable. That was 15 years ago. Daniel hadn't seen Catherine since. "Daddy, are we going to sit down?" Sophie tugged at his hand. "Yes, sorry," Daniel managed, pulling his gaze away at the counter. The universe had other plans. "Daniel? Daniel Crawford?" Her voice was exactly as he remembered. He turned slowly. Catherine stood 3 feet away. Her green eyes wide with recognition. "Catherine," he said, his voice steady. "It's been a long time, 15 years, she said softly. "You look good," Catherine said with genuine warmth. "So do you," Daniel replied. She looked successful, polished, like she had achieved everything she set out to do. "Is that your daughter?" Catherine asked, glancing toward Sophie. "Yes, that's Sophie. She's 6. She's beautiful. She has your eyes." "Are you visiting town?" Daniel asked. "Actually, I'm back for good," Catherine said. "I bought this cafe along with 3 others in the region. I'm expanding my business here." Daniel blinked. "I started a hospitality company about 8 years ago," she explained. "Coffee shops, small restaurants, we've been successful, and I wanted to bring that success back home." "That's incredible," Daniel said. Here he was, barely making ends meet while Catherine had built an empire. "What about you?" Catherine asked. "Construction. I'm a foreman now, steady work. Good crew." He didn't mention the mounting bills, the way he sometimes skipped meals to make sure Sophie had enough. "Would it be okay if I came over to say hello?" Catherine asked. "I'd love to meet Sophie properly." Daniel found himself nodding. Catherine approached their table carrying her coffee. "Hi there. I'm Catherine. I'm an old friend of your daddy's." Sophie looked up. "Studying, Catherine, I like your hair," Sophie announced. Catherine laughed. "Thank you. I like your dress. Pink is a beautiful color." For 20 minutes, they talked. Catherine asked Sophie about school, about her favorite game. Sophie, usually shy, opened up to Catherine with surprising speed. "You're a natural with kids," Daniel observed when Sophie went to get napkins. Catherine's smile faltered. "I never had children. My marriage didn't work out." "What about Sophie's mother?" Catherine asked gently. "She left when Sophie was 6 months old," Daniel said quietly. "She wasn't ready for motherhood. That must have been incredibly difficult. The hardest thing I've ever done, but also the best. Sophie is everything to me." "That's clear," Catherine said. "You're a wonderful father, Daniel." When Sophie returned, Catherine checked her watch. "Would you and Sophie like to have dinner sometime this week? I'd love to catch up properly." Daniel's first instinct was to refuse, but Sophie was looking at Catherine with hopeful eyes. "We'd like that," he heard himself say. That night, Daniel stared at Catherine's business card. Catherine Monroe, founder and CEO. Monroe Hospitality Group. What could he possibly offer someone like Catherine Monroe? But he remembered the way she had looked at him, not with pity, but with warmth. He sent a text about dinner. Her response came immediately over the next few weeks. Dinners became regular, sometimes at restaurants, sometimes Catherine cooked at her Victorian house. Daniel insisted on reciprocating, making his signature spaghetti in his modest apartment. They fell into an easy rhythm. The 3 of them. Sophie adored Catherine, and Catherine seemed to bloom in Sophie's presence. One evening, After Sophie fell asleep on Catherine's couch, Daniel carried his daughter to the car. Catherine walked him out. "Daniel, I need to tell you something," she said softly. "I came back to this town for business reasons. But if I'm honest, I also came back hoping I might see you again." Daniel stared at her. "In 15 years, I built a successful company. I traveled the world, but Daniel, I never stopped thinking about you." She took a step closer. "You have something I've been searching for all these years. You have purpose, connection, love. The way you are with Sophie. The genuine goodness in you. That's what matters. I'm not rich," Daniel said quietly. "I can't give you the life you're accustomed to." "I don't need you to give me anything," Catherine said. "I need you to let me in, to let me be part of your life. Yours and Sophie's." "I'm scared," Daniel admitted. "I'm scared too," Catherine said. "But I want to try if you'll let me." Daniel looked at his truck, where Sophie slept peacefully. "I want to try too," he said. Catherine kissed him softly. It felt like coming home a year later. They sat at their usual table in the cafe, the same table where Daniel had first seen Catherine again. "I have something to ask you both," Catherine said nervously. She looked at Sophie first. "Sophie, how would you feel if I became part of your family officially? If I married your daddy?" Sophie's eyes went wide. "You'd be my mom?" "If you'd let me," Catherine said softly. Sophie launched herself at Catherine, hugging her tight. Then Catherine turned to Daniel. Pulling out a small box, Daniel Crawford. "I let you go once and spent 15 years regretting it. Will you marry me?" Daniel's throat was too tight to speak. He nodded. Pulling Catherine close, the cafe erupted in applause that evening. Cooking dinner together. Sophie doing homework at the counter. Daniel caught Catherine's eye. She smiled at him. That same smile from when they were 18. But now it held something deeper. "I love you," he said simply. "I love you too," Catherine replied. "I always have." Daniel understood that life rarely gives you what you expect, but sometimes it gives you exactly what you need. The journey back to each other had taken 15 years, but every moment had led them here to this kitchen, this family, this second chance. Sometimes the best love stories are the ones that take years to write. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Leave a comment about a time when life brought someone back into your world unexpectedly.